This racist, bigoted, ignorant fool thinks that Canadian embassies must only employ white English speakers around the world. Who thinks like this? Also needing help in an embassy?
That's like people like the embassy. If you ever go to an embassy, you expect the people to be like me, like Canadian, like just Caucasian. But like Canadian, there's so many cultures. So, you're shocked when you see someone that's like not from this. You know what I mean? And doesn't speak a lot of
From the
English.
accent, you can't catch it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wonder which of her novelty hats #Foodie Beauty wore to the embassy. Head. I think she wears them to hide all the dirt and sweat and pulling. They're so gross. I just thought the exact same thing. Chantal showing her true colors again. Canadians have so many cultures. What is she even saying? She did mention that further on the live, but this is her first thoughts and first assumption about people. So, she is stuck there. I haven't been keeping up. She claims they plan to be there this long, but they seem to have run out of things to do and money, and they seem tired of being there. Talk about saying it was a visa run without saying it was a visa run. Like we didn't know already anyway. If this was a planned long vacation, why is she at the embassy looking for English speaking Caucasian people? Her visa is in order, right? I think this is when Salad can't see or will see she can get him into Canada soon. I wonder what she was doing there. World traveler, guys. It shows she doesn't really know a lot. She's never been exposed to different things. She just started going places in her late 30s. Problems with her visa confirmed. Never change, foodie. Nope, I'm not shocked when people working at a business anywhere are not Caucasian. Because I'm not a racist like foodie, right? Never have I seen someone tell on themselves so freaking much. WTF is she trying to say? All I can focus on is her fat eyes. WTF has happened there. She's not going to be able to open them soon. Embassies employ local people to work there. Only the higher ups are usually from the country whose embassy it is. Does she think all of the employees are supposed to be Canadian? What a moron! But why would it be a white person? WTF? You can be Canadian and be any race. WTF is she talking about? That's like saying there'd only be a white person at an American embassy. What about the black Americans, Hispanic Americans? America isn't only whites. She said that they didn't speak a lot of English, so I assumed it was a Thai person she was talking to. It's mind-boggling that she's from in a diverse country like Canada and still thinks like this. But she sees non-white people as beneath her, so I don't know why I'm surprised. When everything is racist, then nothing is racist. Calling out blacks for looting and destroying does not make one racist. It means you have eyes to see what's happening on our streets. She's a documented animal A, and yes, she can be ignorant. WTF are you saying? Multiple things can be racist at once. It doesn't speak well of embassies because they employ locals rather than importing Caucasians to all corners of the globe. Ignorant racism at best. I would prefer a local to this waste of oxygen. Honestly, I'd think I'd leave if I encountered her at an embassy. Typo, I meant employ. It further proves that she's not educated at all because common sense would tell her that when it comes to working in a place like the embassy, there are many people from different cultures and backgrounds who speak different languages. #Foodie Beauty. Well, they should at least hire English speakers who think of themselves as Canadian. Oh, I wanna play. Okay, I will take what are ignorant and racist things. #Foodie Beauty Animal. A says for 800. And why can I renew my visa for 400? She is so dumb. The diplomat will be Canadian at least, but no one else has to be. Thai people apply for work visas etc. there. They must speak Thai. But a Canadian isn't a white woman. It's a person from Canada. So, you're in Thailand trying to process a visa to Kuwait and you are surprised there's not a Canadian at the front desk? Oh, she is dumber than a box of frogs. Nah, ain't no effing way. B, you cannot be that effing stupid. Ain't no way. Somebody has visa issues. Who would have guessed? When having trouble with government agencies, it's important to be as passive aggressive as possible. Tell them you are surprised to find them working there since they only speak ESL and have been drawn from the local population rather than having fresh Canadians flown out regularly. Fresh Canadians. I'm dead. They probably spoke perfectly well. Her problem is trying to get them to understand her scheme without explaining all the pesky details like tax evasion and border hopping. The bigotry is baked into this one. Lol, she thinks all embassies are staffed by people from that embassy's home country? That's an effing long trip home every day or week. She probably thinks the embassy is there for Canadians who happen to be in that particular part of the world. But she says we're the uncultured swine. There's only one person who could fall into a pig pen and fit right in. She's got the right shape, although she's fatter than most pigs. All I'm saying is that they would have trouble identifying the odd one out. She has the kind of perception of the world I'd expect from maybe a 10-year-old kid. Chantal is an exceptional human being. I bet she wonders why the locals are all up in her embassy. It's there just for her. She's a beautiful Canadian white queen after all. Don't care why she was there. But what the F is she trying to say? Because I live in Canada. And when go to any place for anything, what I assume is that I will see someone working there. They may or may not speak well in English. What was she saying? Facepalm moment. She's such a racist. It doesn't even make sense. Canada is built on so many ethnicities, yet she behaves like every non-white person is beneath her. She expects the embassy worker to be white and Canadian? In Thailand? Note, the size of the ethnic or cultural origins in the word cloud represents the number of total responses for a given origin. The ethnic and cultural origins presented in the word cloud are the ones reported alone or with other origins by more than 2% of the population of Ontario. Source Census of Population 2021. So, mentioned are Ukrainian, Scottish, Polish, French, Indian, meaning from India, the British Isles, English, Italian, Filipino, German, Chinese, Irish, Dutch, Canadian, Portuguese. I can confirm the Filipino part because I've had some friends migrate to Canada and find jobs there, mostly as nurses. She was shocked that the Canadian embassy was staffed by people who live in Thailand and are likely Thai citizens and not imported white labor from Ottawa sent to cater to her. She was expecting to waltz up like she was the queen because she's racist and a moron. But Canada, Ottawa, Ontario are not even white. We have such a beautiful immigrant mix here, so I'm actually stuttering typing. I know she stopped herself. But for God's sake, what's next? White? Where pa? We already got the salute, for frick's sake. It's wild. She's actually getting more racist living in the Middle East. No one can convince me otherwise. I'm so pissy. Lol, I might stroke out. By the way, and just in case I'm not pissy with you, my family has been in Canada since before it was Canada, and even we're mostly a bunch of immigrant mixes. That's literally Canada. She's such a moron, it's outstanding. She's an uneducated buffoon, like her bestie ALR. She's surprised some people at the Canadian Embassy don't speak a ton of English. Who wants to be the one to tell her Canada has more than one official language? She's disgusting in just about every way someone can be disgusting. All these stupid hats make me bonkers. It doesn't take much with her, honestly. I'm legit curious what she's thinking. Maybe her next cosplay is going to be Amish, and she's giving us a hint. Must be it. She's taking this Canadian tuxedo thing a bit too far. I have my silly little shorts channel. Maybe next time I wear a dumb hat so we can all have a good laugh at an inside joke. I'll try to find a really stupid one too. I still can't wrap my head around how she has any genuine viewers who aren't as wild as her too. She would only go to a Canadian embassy in Thailand for one reason: a problem with her visa. I looked it up and apparently you can get wire transfers there also. It made me wonder if her mom sent her money. I definitely think she has a visa issue. This is the vacation that never ends, and they seem over it. This is the song that doesn't end. I think she's trying to sell out to Canada. I really think this is a him issue. I think she's sick of the heat and is trying to get him out of a country with high humidity. I thought she couldn't get him to Canada though, while she still had bankruptcy and tax issues going on. Maybe. I would believe that. But I absolutely believe with her level of entitlement, she would still try to get him to Canada or a country less hot. This is all conjecture, but just knowing what I do about traveling with Syrians and trying to move with Syrians, know it's incredibly complicated, and I think the likelihood of him being the issue is higher than her. I think at this point they're both the issue. I think her debt issues and him being a Syrian are both huge issues for the Canadian government. I did have the thought that going to Thailand would be a convenient excuse to sidetrack to Canada, but I also suspect Marty's letter may have done its job. She may be unable to return to Kuwait at all now. What was his latest letter? I'm too scared to try and dig for anything related to him. Yes, she would not go to a Canadian embassy if she were trying to get back to Kuwait. She would have to go to the Kuwait embassy, unless they are requesting a document she doesn't have. Interesting. I like this theory. That's what I think too. I think this is a Salah problem. Maybe he doesn't want to wait anymore. I think she's gone to get her Thai marriage certificate verified. I don't believe for a second they were legally married in Kuwait. Just a workaround to stop them being arrested for living together. I hope she's never allowed back into Kuwait. How can the Canadian embassy help her with a visa to Kuwait? I think Canada is only interested in one thing when it comes to Foodie: her tax debt. Could they be trying to get a visa for Salah to travel to Canada via the Canadian embassy in Thailand? No idea how all this works. Or do you think there's a wild chance she wants to relocate there? Granted, I have no idea how immigration works at all. No, she doesn't. More important, he doesn't. I agree. She's telling on herself again. Hates Canada, bad mouths it, but wants their help. I hope they have a hold on her passport and come get her. She needs to pay back what she owes. He's never getting to Canada. No way she can take care of him. If a family member does that, then they can be responsible for him. Tell me she's stuck in Thailand, Kuwait don't want her, and she poor. No way back. I hope that would be hilarious. In all honesty, with the way she's talking, I believe this arc is slowly but surely coming to an end. She's not going to be able to get Salah to Canada, and I don't think he needs her to do so, and she needs to wake up and realize that. That marriage is about to fail. Uncultured swine. WTF? Why would only Caucasians work at embassies? OMG, she proves her stupidness day after day. Hashtag Foodie Beauty. Hashtag Animal A. Although I agree with the statement above, when you add in her boundless ignorance, it is jaw-dropping. She is such an idiot and gives herself away every time.